Pastor Marcel Keller, the pastor of the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. And of course, Pastor Keller, let me welcome you to the show during this final segment of the show, and to sort of remind you that, as you observed, that Dr. Baxter has sort of laid the foundation dealing with historical black colleges and the need for historical black colleges, and how the church was first identified as one of the main agents in terms of trying to deal with African education. Let's have you, Reverend Keller, from your own experiences, talk about some of the things that you have seen recently dealing with efforts to try to finance African-American historical black institutions, and some of the things that you've done personally.
Well, as we all know, that when it comes to African-American education, the church has been its foundation. When we look just locally here, when I think about Meharry, I think about its original site, which is located over on 1st and Chestnut Street in the, say, Hubbard area over there. When I think about Fisk, I think about the early days of following slavery and this kind of thing, and the idea of educating the newly emancipated Negro. And then when I think about Tennessee State, I'm always reminded of one of our outstanding citizens, Henry Allen Boyd, whose statement was that the state knew that they were not going to build but one institution for blacks in the next 100 years, and that it should be here in Nashville. And then when we think about American Baptist Bible College, or American Baptist College, one has to go all the way over to the Vanderbilt area and think about the old Roger Williams Institute. Well, this is an outgrowth of the Roger Williams Institute, which was located over there in the Vanderbilt Peabody area. And so the church has always been our building block, and throughout history, it has been the church that has sustained education, because the first ones of our race to be educated was the clergy. And so that was a necessity, because they were the ones who were going to be leading the people. And then later on, as education sifted down, and as Dr. Baxter so beautifully outlined the difference between Du Bois and Booker T and all of them, but they all had the same goal in mind. From my own concept, I've often wondered what would have happened if Booker T and Du Bois had got together. And when we talk about the talented 10th performers, the talented 10th of educators, the talented 10th of all the various skills, suppose they had surfaced to the top, where would we be today as a people? And so we have to think about that.
You know, Reverend Keller, I know that at one time you were the leader of the Interdenominational Ministerial Association.
Right.
And at one time you came up with a program that would bring historical black colleges and churches to a closer alignment, and that these historical black colleges would be able to perhaps create a financial resource from these churches. Let's talk about your concept in reference to that, and how you might be able to apply that concept even today.
Even today, I'm proud to say that you were part of that. I like your terminology, the struggle, when we began this. It followed an incident that I was coming to lunch from the publishing house where I worked, and on the radio there was this statement that these 4 institutions locally would be penalized because of non-payment of some of our students. So we came up with the idea of the College Trust Fund. The College Trust Fund was designed to help a student at each institution. We have been very fortunate in doing that. We give a scholarship of $1,000 annually to some student at these 4 institutions. We're looking forward in the future to raise the amount of the scholarship. And not only that, if we follow the dream of raising $1 million as our goal suggests, then we will be able to give each one of these institutions, out of our investment portfolio, we'll be able to give each school $25,000 per annum. And this will go a long way in the educating of these students and following through and be able possibly to give a whole 4-year scholarship to a student. And these are the kinds of things that we are going to have to do as a people to educate ourselves. I'm just a firm believer that Daddy may have, Mama may have, but God bless the child that has his own. And I've lived by that motto